Dr. Kakenya Ntaiya, welcome to Wellesley College and to the African Women's Leadership Conference. We are so honored to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's really quite an honor to be here among amazing, African women leaders, and I love being around people who are curious and who really truly want to help their communities and our continent, and I've been really blessed, and also being in a women's college.
Yes, of which you are also a part
of that. So that's just special memories. So that's good.
Absolutely. Your life, I think, has really been quite extraordinary. At a very young age, you had the agency and the vision for yourself in terms of wanting an education, working with your father to actually undergo FGM, but in return for being able to go to college. And then what you've taken that forward to do is truly remarkable. Can you tell us just a little bit? I'm trying to wonder about you being your teenage, or maybe how old were you? 13. Your 13-year-old self. How did you really understand what it was that you wanted for your future?
I grew up in a home that was, my mother really worked very hard, and I worked right beside her because I'm the firstborn of 8, and that meant that I helped her raise my siblings, and everything she did, I did with her. And if she wasn't there, I did it myself, and I took care of my siblings. And I remember, going to the river, collecting water, getting the firewoods, and it wasn't an easy job because it's harsh conditions. I mean, even when we worked in the farm, it's not like we had tools and machines that we worked with. We worked with our own energy and our own hands. And when I went to school and seeing the other part of life that I wasn't living, and looking at, I talk about women teachers who inspired me. And so having those two pictures, which one was really clear of hope and kind of control of yourself, and empowered woman who, can write up in the board, and that's the picture I had in my mind, and I wanted that, and I didn't have it. So I didn't like the life I lived. And I thought, the one I want to push for was so hopeful. So I didn't really have much to lose other than try to figure out how do I get what I really wanted.
Well, but I think it also points to the power of teachers.
Yes.
And the power of teachers to enable girls and boys to imagine a different life.
Absolutely. That's why I'm in the field of education, because I think that you mold the kid to be who they can truly can be, and you have an opportunity to inspire, you have an opportunity to mentor, you have an opportunity to show what can be, and it's just a very unique talent that not everybody has it, but all of us went through schools, and I'm telling you, everybody will talk about that first grade or second grade or third grade teacher who said something that changed their lives. And so teachers are powerful.
They are.
Yeah.
I want to get back to your mother, because your mother had some education, but she is also was a remarkable force, without having as much formal education, but she must have also, in something, maybe it was spoken or not spoken, had a real sense of hope for you.
Yeah, I think because she's tested the education and she didn't get full of it, and I think it's more sometimes I feel like she was that bitter that, I left school. If I had stayed, I could have been different than the way I lived, and so we had no option. I mean, even though she put us to work, she really worked us, but she made sure we went to school. And it was really for her, it was like, I didn't get it, but you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just very powerful. I want to talk a little bit about the Kakenya Center for Excellence. You opened a primary school for girls in 2009. And what is it that we can learn from your model?
Well, I think, in my village, people always didn't see women as, or girls as smart. They didn't see them as leaders. They don't see them as the future. They had a picture for them that was, which is, it's okay to be a mother and have children. I'm one of them, but that doesn't define the girls or women for who they are. They have special talents beyond, what the society wants them to do. And I think what you can learn from us is really about how to empower a young girl holistically. We have to look beyond just the textbooks in the classrooms and the enabling environment where teachers are, there to support the students. We have to look at the whole child, from nutrition to, building their self-confidence. One of the things that my girls always come and I ask them to tell me what they want to dream, what's their dream, and for the very first time, this is the time they're being asked that, and I would tell them to draw their dream and then see them how they grow with that, and it's really amazing to be with them and mold them. So you have to bring them in a whole, giving them the space to be and nurture them. And that's what is very unique. We are not just about the uniforms or the scholarship. It's really about investing in that kid to become a truly empowered woman. Whether you're going back to be a farmer, to be a mother at home, or to be a banker and a president, they all get the same equal empowerment because you need that.
Well, it's so powerful because you're right. The holistic approach that nurtures the mind and the body.
Exactly.
And also looks to create an environment in which they can thrive. And you're right, that is what we do at a women's college, but you're doing it in rural parts of Kenya, which is very powerful, and thinking about the mobilization and the education of girls across all socioeconomic groups. It is really, I think, such an important way to move countries forward.
And I focus on the early learning because I think so many kids are left out. Because when you can't be able to read and write in primary school, you're not going to be in secondary school. So you are left out. And I focus on that because I think we in Africa especially, we have left out the great minds because we're not providing the right quality education and the right environment for kids to just be kids and their talents. We leave out talent in first grade or second grade because we don't create those opportunities. And I'm driven for that because I think giving kids at the most rural place just the basics, they will really surprise. My girls have surprised me every day, and I just say, wow, this is amazing.
So does the model now go through what we would call high school? Does it get them to a college level?
So right now our school is pretty much the 4th through 8th grade, which is we focus on preparing them to high school. We are in the process of building our own high school.
Oh my goodness.
This is the first year we're going to have, we're actually enrolling 20 girls in May in 9th grade. What we've learned, we've been sending our girls to different high schools throughout the country. And but I realized that they need each other. So we still brought them during the holiday, but it wasn't enough time to build the bond, to also help them, because I think high school is so critical to transition to university. Right now we're trying to prepare them to do applications, which you should have done it in high school, because most high school are just focused on getting the exams and that's it. But they're not thinking about helping you choose the right career. They're not thinking about how do you, actualize what you're reading. It's more like exam. So we want to be practical. We want to be innovative. We want to make sure our girls really experience the fullest in high school. So we are coming up with that, and I can't wait for that. It's just, I'm so excited about that because I get to work with real teenagers.
Well, and I think what you're pointing to is so important. And we've joined a program. There's an organization in the United States called the Posse Foundation. And what that does is it brings students in groups. So they're friends. And it brings them in groups to different colleges and universities. But I think inherent in what you're saying is it recognizes that it's the bonds that they have, the strength of being with each other, that really allows them to, with support, achieve, that there's a sense of resilience, that they together can move forward as opposed to individually.
Definitely, women, we work as a team.
Yeah. So, we do. It's part of our, it's our nature.
My classrooms, I don't do the desk, I do the tables. I'm like, let's talk around the circle. That's how we learn.
Right.
And so I really thrive in that, bringing the network, the bondness, supporting each other.
Yeah.
You know, I tell them, you're all sisters, we're neighbors. Come on, you are the future, and you need the banker next to you. If you're a president, you need the banker, you need the economist, you need a whole team.
Right.
So this is where you get your whole team.
So how do we take your model and have it replicated in many places?
That's the question I am currently exploring, because there are two ways that we're looking at. Our current school is really a partnership with the government of Kenya, which will enable us to share practices with other schools. So we've been doing a bit of learning, teacher modeling. We're learning from teachers to teachers. We've also worked with exchange students among schools. We bring people to our school, and that's a really environment for us to figure out how do you scale it up, and how do you get the government, because my goal is like this should be the standard for every school in the rural. I mean, you need to have quality education for all in every single school. So I'm tapping into that, which will be really interesting. The high school part for us is going to be really interesting, because we want people to come and learn from what we have done, and they can take it. And you know, my goal is not to build 100 schools. My goal is to help others.
Right. Do the work.
Yes. And develop curriculums and institutions that suits their neighborhood and their community, but we can offer you from what we have already learned from us. So I really hope that we can create something that, if you're very passionate about education, you want to invest in kids, where do I start? And I'll be able to tell you, here is the thing, go start.
I think about it, the importance of educating young women, but it's also important that we play a role in changing the world into which they enter. And it seems to me that in the process of recruiting your girls, that you are in many ways changing that culture. What have you seen in terms of the attitudes of parents and the attitudes of your village as you've carried this work forward?
It's been amazing for me to just walk through from the day that I would sit down with men and tell them I want to build a school for girls, and them telling me maybe we should start a school for boys first, to changing that mindset of, it took time. It took a lot of sitting down and understanding, and but I think what I have realized is that we had a common thing that we all understood and we all agreed is that education. Education is important. So that was my entrance to the community. And at first they didn't know what I meant by saying girls are not being cut.
Interesting.
And then, they're not getting married before they finish school, and they thrive and they choose when to want to be married. Not like we're going to dictate when you're going to be married, who you're going to be married to. I want that to be the girl.
Their choice.
Their choice. And they're being patient. But I think the success that we've done, I think the very first time when we did our national examination in 8th grade, and we were at the top in the county that we are in, and everybody was like, that's a girls' school that's doing that good.
So you outperformed everybody.
Yes, we outperformed boys.
Yes.
and that was, for the very first time, we're sending girls to the top national schools. And I think everybody said, wow, so our girls are actually capable. And they started thinking that, let's give them the opportunity. And we've grown. I mean, now sending our girls to university, it's just been really growing with them. And through that process, it's been learning and knowing that, actually FGM is not good, because the moment the girl goes through FGM, first, she's going to drop out of school because she's marriageable now. And then second, it's going to be, she's seen as a woman, not a child. And that brings a lot of issues, because sexual violence is very high, rape is very high, because you're a woman, you're not a child anymore. So they started sinking that in. And
Right.
when girls go through those traumatizing situations, it's very difficult for them
Yeah.
to concentrate in class.
Yeah.
And so now the parents are like, we're backing off. Kakenya, you do your thing. Empower
That's
your
wonderful.
girls.
I mean, it's
And
a
it
way
took time, but you know, we will end FGM. I mean,
Right.
I am definitely invested in that, and I know
Right.
that the girls that I'm investing in, they will end that
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
They
No,
will
it's
grow without it.
it's wonderful. It's
Yeah.
really creating this whole population of girls, but their families,
Their families,
who have said, okay, we're not going to do FGM,
their sisters are
and their
practicing.
sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Very,
ripple
very
effect.
powerful.
Yes.
I think the other thing that I take from your work, which is so important, is that you have worked within the traditional structures to change culture. You've what you've done is quite revolutionary, but you've done it
Yeah.
in a way that has been in many ways embraced.
Yeah.
Did you have a sense that this was going to be successful? I mean, how did you get a sense of how to work within your community in this way?
I was really determined to always bring the people within the community to be part of the project, because I didn't want it to be about me.
Right.
I really wanted it to be about my mothers. I wanted it to be about the fathers. I wanted it to be people in the community driving it. Because, I mean, anything can happen to me and I can disappear. So
That's
if
right.
you don't empower the community to own it and to run it, then you lack the risk of making it sustainable. So I think for me, I would tell them, this is your thing. Like, I would
Right.
go for meetings. This is
Right.
yours. It's not mine.
Right.
I want to help you. I want to help you shape the future. This is for your children. And it took a long time, but people came together, and I always told them I'll be respectful.
Mhm.
And I kept that. And of course, I didn't know how I was going to do it, that I would just
Yeah,
disappear.
yeah.
But I was very respectful of the elders. I am up to now. I mean, when I go home, I do what they require. I mean, if it's bowing and saying hi to them, that's fine. I will stand a distance, that's fine. Because those are not things that will hurt me or anything.
Right.
But you need to change those that are the culture that is bad,
Right.
and keep the ones that are good.
Right.
And because I knew it so well, kind of because I grew up there and lived it, it helped me.
Right.
It helped me. Because there are cultures that we need to celebrate. We shouldn't get rid of so many, all of them.
Absolutely, because
Yes.
the culture, the good parts of the culture are strengthening.
Yeah.
It's what helps
Yeah.
to sustain us.
Exactly.
I want to just turn to leadership for a minute, and interestingly, we have former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright went to Wellesley, and we have an institute named after her, and the institute brings in, we choose about 45 students per year, and they really have a deep experience in thinking about global affairs, working as teams, and then really doing internships. Very diverse group of our students. We asked them this past January, we asked them, what is their vision for leadership? What should a good leader look like? And I just want to share with you, one of the fellows stated, the leaders of the future should be concerned about people through shared humanity and not just shared national, religious, and political identity. What are your words of wisdom for the next generation of leaders, both young African women, but also for young women around the world?
I think my message is always, and I think this is something I'm learning every day, put your hand down and pick someone up. Because the moment you lift them up, they'll be better than you.
Yeah.
And when they're better than you, you will see the future that you want to see.
Yes.
And so it's not about me, it's about lifting the others and mentoring the others for the future. So as leaders, and mostly in the African, when you look at the generation before me, there was no that mentorship, because they were fighting and making sure that they got to the seats, but they never reached out and pulled someone. So to be able to get to where they are, it's taking time, and I don't want that to be the same. So for being a leader, you have to make someone else better than you.
Yes.
it has to be someone else better. Someone
Yes.
has to be better than you.
Yes.
I always say the seat you're sitting, make sure that when you move, they are in the next seat.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's where you are truly a leader.
I think that is so powerful.
Yeah.
Put your hand down and lift somebody up so that they're
Yeah,
in
better,
fact better
better than you.
than you.
Yes.
Well, I think those words are inspirational. And Dr. Ntaiya, you are an inspiration. The work you are doing is extraordinary, and I think is such a model for leadership, of course women's leadership, but leadership across the board. So thank you for joining us
Thank you so
here
much,
at the
Mr.
African
Johnson.
Women's Conference and at Wellesley College.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Yeah.
Thank
this
you.
was lovely.